Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we'll be using the Relentless stabber, Pequod Yi Sang. This identity was actually one of the first identities I ever did a solo run with, and he was supposed to be the final identity I had to do a run with in order to complete this series, but then I made a non-solo video with his Fell Bullet identity and screwed up the order because I'm not going to make a video on the same character twice in a row. But anyway, Pequod Yi Sang is a fairly standard poise identity who has a slightly unorthodox crit payoff. Whereas most other poise identities gain their payoff in the form of incredibly powerful damage modifiers, Yi Sang gains the ability to reuse the final coin of his skill 2 when he crits with it up to 3 times. If you want to put a number to it in order to better compare, if he manages to get the maximum number of reuses, it would be roughly equivalent to a 300% damage modifier. The only real problem he has is that his poise count generation is only barely good enough to maintain a stack, but the second he starts to reuse his coins, he loses that ability. In order for him to not fall off, he does need a bit of extra poise support, but once you give him that, he will easily be able to do the most damage out of any of your identities. Anyway, to start the run off, we take these starter buffs and find these ego gifts on the first floor of the automated factory before making it to the boss against the pink shoes. This floor is by far one of the easiest first floors to solo, and as such one I normally avoid like the plague. But when I did this run, I didn't feel like trying very hard to get the run started, and so I ended up picking one of the easiest floors instead. We also got a little lucky by getting the less tedious boss, so we don't have to spend 20 years killing the same enemy over and over again in order to win. We take the Rusted Muzzle and Dreaming Electric Sheep for our reward before heading into To Be Pierced for the next floor. Here we've used the Dueling Manual Book 3 before making it to the boss against the Fairy Gentleman. Most fights in this run can be boiled down into one sentence: we dodge everything and then stab them to death. The Fairy is no exception, however he does help speed up his own demise by giving us a permanent 50% damage boost by simply playing into his gimmick. Also, I don't really know where else to put this, but Pequod Yi Sang is easily one of my favorite identities, purely because his skill 3 has a 50-foot vertical leap for absolutely no explainable reason. I just find it very funny how high he can jump.
이 기세로 계속 나아가 보자.
스페셜한 기운이 느껴져. 면밀히 짚어보고 나아가는 게 내가 시범을 보이지. 적들의 부위가 파괴되었습니다. 치킨으로 말하자면 통닭에서 닭다리 하나가 뜯어진 꼴이랄까요.
시원하게 처리하니
볼품 없어졌다는 뜻이죠. 내가 시범을 보이지.
방금 공격. 다음에 다른 개체에게도 다시 해봐줄래? 영상으로 남기면 다른 직원에게도 도움이 될지도 몰라.
훌륭하오. 이외에 특별히 첨언할 이유도 없군. 기름도 나오지 않는 놈이구려. 죄송해요.
We take Oracle and Disc Fragment for our reward, while also receiving Late Bloomer's Tattoo as a bonus before heading into a certain world for the next floor. Here we buy Nebulizer, Devil's Share, and Sticky Muck, while also fusing Punctured Memory before making it to the boss against Nelly. What can I even say anymore? It's only floor 3 and we're already completely overpowered. Even if we didn't have an evade, which trivializes literally everything, the fact that we have a skill 2 that's capable of doing 500 damage and bleed damage on top of that, we can pretty much kill anything before they even have a chance to attack us. You still have to know what you're doing, but man, if this isn't one of the easiest runs I've ever done.
저들이 추풍과 같이 흔들려 보다 유리하지 않겠어. 내가 시범을 보이지.
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데. 우리가 우세를 점하고 있어. 하지만 여기서 방심하면 안 돼.
내가 시범을
지휘팀이라면
보이지.
완벽하고 빈틈없이 모든 걸 끝마쳐야 하지 않겠어?
제법 지쳤나 보. 기름도 나오지 않는 놈이구려.
We take Mirror Tactile Synesthesia and the Chief Butler's Secret Arts for our reward before the game decides to punish my hubris by forcing upon me the White Gosipium. We head into Refraction Railway Line 2 in order to get rid of the Gosipium as quickly as possible, and here we find the Ruptured Blood Sac and buy Finifugality and an extra skill too, while also fusing Clear Mirror Calm Water and the handheld mirror before making it to the boss against the Sign of Roses. As mentioned previously, the only reason I chose this floor was to get rid of the Gosipium as quickly as possible, otherwise I would have tried to choose a much harder floor. Anyway, the Sign of Roses itself is only ever difficult if you happen to have primarily Wrath skills, because the Wrath Rose is the only actually threatening one. We don't even have a Wrath skill, so we don't have to worry about the reflect damage from defeating the Rose, which makes this fight basically free. So free in fact that I didn't even bother using an evade the entire time.
훌륭하오. 이외에 특별히 첨언할 이유도 없군.
저기 치명적인 피해를 입었군요. 역시 유능한 자가 마이크를 잡으니 전투도 손쉽게 이루어지네요. 아, 감사의 인사는 괜찮습니다.
우리가 우세를 점하고 있어. 하지만 여기서 방심하면 안 돼. 지휘팀이라면
내가 시범을
완벽하고 빈틈없이 모든 걸 끝마쳐야 하지 않겠어?
죄송해요. 잠시 어지러워서 못 봤어요. 뭐 또 대단한
개체들의
일이라도
체력이
하신
많이
거겠죠?
깎여나갔어. 괴로워하는 게 느껴지지 않아?
We take Millarca and a duplicate for our reward before heading into the evil defining for the final floor. Here we buy the cigarette holder and fuse the guiding gas lamp before making it to the boss against the Pequod trio. The guiding gas lamp is one of the reasons why Pequod Yi Sang is one of the best solo units of all time. It gives all Pequod identities an extra +2 skill power, and the reason this matters is because it buffs his evade. It just allows him to tie with most other evade units, but that's only because his evade doesn't gain any extra power naturally, but combined with just how ridiculous his skill 2 is, the Relentless Stabber is an actual monster in the Mirror Dungeon.
내가 시범을 보이지.
죄송해요. 잠시 어지러워서 못 봤어요. 뭐 또 대단한 일이라도 하신 거겠죠?
내가 시범을 보이지. 기름도 나오지 않는 놈이구려. 기름도 나오지 않는
개체들의
놈이구려.
체력이 많이 깎여나갔어. 괴로워하는 게 느껴지지 않아? 이 기세로 계속 나아가보자. 아까 했던 공격 덕에 한결 수월해진 것 같아요. 좋네요.
내가 시범을 보이지.
저기 치명적인 피해를 입었군요. 역시 유능한 자가 마이크를 잡으니 전투도 손쉽게 이루어지네요. 아, 감사의 인사는 괜찮습니다.
어떻게 하신 거죠? 깜짝 놀랐어요.
내가 시범을 보이지. 기름도 나오지 않는 놈이구려.
가른 신나. 노래 부를까?
해냈어. 이제 이 배를 쉽게 넘볼 해적도 고래도 몇 없을 테지. 흡족하군.
And that's how I beat Mirror Dungeon 6 hard using only Pequod Yi Sang. He is frankly an identity who needs more than 5 floors in order to fully experience, as he gets far too powerful, far too quickly, and only when the Mirror Dungeon starts giving enemies ridiculous modifiers does he even begin to struggle. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe to not miss next time where we'll be using this magnificently wonderful character. Goodbye.